This is the GBN Luncheon edition of news for today, Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Coming up in the news, live demonstration and distribution of safety gears for fishermen in St. David, and work progressing on Grenada's agro-processing facility at Lacaloom in St. David. In the region, police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines cracked down after violent weekend. On international front, IMF warns that global economy at risk of recession if Iran war persists. And in sport is football action today as Grenada faces the Cayman Islands. We have details to these and other stories when we return. The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Bryden and Miners. From the Sister Isle, where the Build Back Better Housing Initiative has entered its main construction phase in PT Martinique, marking a significant step forward in the island's recovery efforts. Contractors from Gren Mac Construction are now on site working to rebuild damaged homes with an estimated 12-week timeline per house. Project consultant Don DeCoto says the efforts is not just about housing, but rebuilding the community and restoring livelihoods. Residents are already seeing progress. The project is also creating opportunities for local workers, with contractors from PT Martinique actively involved in the rebuilding process. Work is steadily progressing on Grenada's agro-processing facility at Lacaloom in St. David, a key project aimed at strengthening the country's agricultural sector and supporting local agro-processors. The facility, which was acquired by the government of Grenada approximately 1 year ago, is expected to enhance the quality of agro-processing services, expand opportunities for value-added production, and improve livelihoods within the industry. During a site visit on Monday, April 13th, Chief Analytical Chemist Erwin Henry reported that external civil works are nearing completion and should be finished within the next few weeks.
Work continues on the project. What you are seeing here is the completion of the external civil works, which is the parking area and entrance to the building or to the facility. This work is expected to be completed in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and from there we'll go on to the other phases, which will be the internal works in the building, and in addition the construction of the annex structure, which will house the offices and conference facility.
He noted that the modern facility will provide critical services to agro-processors, particularly those who face challenges accessing proper equipment and infrastructure. The goal is to support the production of high-quality agro-processed goods for both local consumption and export markets.
So this facility here, it's a rotational processing facility where persons can come in and use the facility on a temporary basis. So what we are doing here, we are catering for agro-processors or potential agro-processors who do not have the necessary capital to start agro-processing business. So this facility will be made available to them, and as I said, it's a shared facility. So persons will come in, they use the facility, they do what they have to do, they package a product according to international standards. World-class equipment will be installed at the facility, so the product will be of a high standard and it will be market ready. Okay.
Tammy Collette, representing Vaughan Construction Company, the firm contracted to carry out the external civil works, also provided an update on the project's progress.
We are in the final stages of this project, where we was doing the external works, paving, driveway, retaining walls, So what you are seeing on the ground now is just the final aspect of it. So we are just putting in a little back wall. The guys are presently, my co-workers and them, they are currently doing the final edges of the retaining walls at the back. And on our far right, what you are seeing here now is just the just some final aspect where we're going to be putting in the drain to bring it down to the public main road.
Currently, a total of 13 individuals are employed during this phase of construction. Subsequent phases of the project will include the refurbishment of the existing building, followed by the construction of an annex. The annex is expected to house office space, washroom facilities, and a conference room. The development of the agro-processing facility aligns with the government's broader commitment to supporting local farmers and entrepreneurs, enhancing food security, and improving livelihoods across Grenada. Monday afternoon saw a live demonstration on the proper use of safety gears for fisherfolk in the parish of St. David as part of ongoing efforts to improve safety standards within the fishing community. The activity also included the distribution of safety kits to fishermen who recently completed the Safety at Sea training, equipping them with essential tools for emergencies while out on the water. Fishers Project Coordinator with Windref, Roland Baldio, explained that the initiative marks the start of the Safety at Sea month. He noted that the campaign will extend to fishing communities across the island with a focus on educating fishers, their families, and the wider public on critical safety practices.
What we are displaying is all the safety items that fishermen should carry. There are different categories of vessels, and each category has a set of safety items that they should be carrying, and we are displaying them and, you know, sensitizing the fishers of the importance to carry their safety items. And so we have just conducted Safety at Sea training, and what we are doing now is just a demonstration and sensitizing communities, and so the families of fishers, because sometimes, you know, the kids of fishers would encourage their dad or their uncle or so to please carry your safety items. So this is just a public demonstration and exhibition.
Baldio also emphasized the importance of consistently carrying safety equipment when going out to sea, noting that proper preparation can save lives in emergency situations.
Very important, because if you look at the statistics over the past, let's say 30 years, we have lost a number of fishermen at sea. Okay, and we have issues all the times where, you know, fishermen they are in distress, and sometimes they don't have the required safety items that could really help them to get back to shore. And it's important that they have it. So what we are doing now is to highlight and, you know, demonstrate those items to the fishermen and ensuring that they carry those items with them.
Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell promises to continue supporting the efforts to ensure St. David becomes one of the most vibrant fishing communities on island.
The fishermen take it seriously and use it, as Mr. Baldio pointed out. Simple things like your life vests could be critical in saving lives at sea. So we really want to ensure that as you go out and you engage in a dangerous but important economic activity, that you take your safety and the safety of the companions at the boat, and obviously your loved ones, because that's the critical thing we have to factor in. We don't want any loved ones to have to suffer the consequences of you not coming back, that you take this seriously.
More than 140 fishers have recently received Safety at Sea gears as part of the program. The initiative represents an investment of $1.7 million by the government of Grenada through the UBEC project, reinforcing its commitment to the safety and well-being of those in the fishing industry. And this report ends the first segment of the news, which came to you compliments Brighton and Miners. Do stay. for a look at what's making news across the region, where police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines described last weekend as murderous and have decided to take drastic action. We have details of these and more in today's OCM News report from the OCM News Network. This segment of the news comes to you compliments Fortune Foods Limited.
Police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines say they intend to push back following what has been described as a murderous weekend in the multi-island CARICOM nation. Gun violence on the mainland has left 3 young men dead, while another remains warded at hospital following 2 separate incidents. In the first incident, which took place last Friday afternoon, 2 men, both 20 years old, were shot dead near the Kingstown branch of Massey Stores. It's an area known as Stony Ground. A third man was also hospitalized after the incident. Then, on Sunday, another man was found shot to death in the village of Bukament on the leeward side of the island. All 3 victims were from the town of Leu. In seeking to allay the fears of ordinary Vincentians, Police Commissioner Enville Williams yesterday said his men and women are not backing down.
This is where we draw the line, and we'll bring everything we've got to the fight. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force will now shift our focus and our footing to an absolute operational offensive. We are focusing every lawful resource on this. And from here forward, our action will speak louder than any words. We will be mobilizing the machinery of the state to hunt down those who believe they can act without consequence.
The police commissioner also sent a warning to criminals. The murder toll in St. Vincent and the Grenadines now stands at 14 for the year so far. Antigua and Barbuda's 2 main political parties are expected to have nominated candidates for all 17 constituencies in the April 30th general election. Yesterday was nomination day. As is customary, scores of jubilant supporters from the parties accompanied nominees to the various outlets of the Elections Commission. Apart from the ruling Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, the main opposition United Progressive Party, the Barbuda People's Movement, and a number of independent contenders are said to have put up candidates. Prime Minister Gaston Brown, who is seeking a 4th consecutive term in office, in a video message before the nomination day activities, urged supporters to ensure that the party is victorious.
The wars and chaos around the world means higher prices and an uncertain future. The world is entering a new era, and so is Antigua and Barbuda. On election day, you must ask yourselves, which leader and team is strong enough, steady enough to see our country through? We offer a renaissance in changing times. We repealed the personal income tax, increased the minimum wage, increased public sector wages, increase social security and occupational pensions to put more money into your pockets.
But the UPP leader, Jamel Pringle, dismissed Mr. Brown's call, saying that people in Antigua and Barbuda have suffered for too long under the current administration. Mr. Pringle said people have been running behind politicians like beggars as they seek to deal with the high cost of living in the country. He is also promising to provide immediate relief for households which have been struggling as a result of unreliable water supply. Mr. Pringle said a UPP government would remove taxes on key water storage equipment and roll out a targeted relief program. And gas shortages in several parts of Guyana yesterday saw long lines at gas stations, mainly in the capital, Georgetown. Motorists were frustrated.
But coming down the road, I took about 1 hour and a half to reach at this gas station. Now that you reach here, they're giving you a limit.
Let's start bringing electric vehicle here, because they say it's real tough. Real tough. You get the full amount that you like? No, only getting 5,000. You can't get more than 5,000. I understand. So it's tough right now. So it's best to bring in electric vehicle right now.
Rough all over, man. All over. Me no going on here, so.
Where you stop before you come in?
I stop Rubis. Now I come in here to forget some fuel.
Get any gas?
No, not this yet. No, the line too long. Too long.
Well, I gotta come to work. I gotta move. I don't know if tomorrow we can get gas. Will we have gas tomorrow? Question for everybody. We can get gas tomorrow? I don't know. We ain't sure.
President Dr. Irfan Ali called a meeting with some stakeholders and received reports on what was happening. He was assured that deliveries were expected overnight.
Have you heard about the new software bathroom
Thanks for staying with us. And now for a look at what's making news further afield. Well, Pope Leo says he is not afraid of Donald Trump administration, but stated he is not interested in debating Donald Trump after the president launched a social media tirade aimed at the pontiff over the weekend. Last week, the Pope described Mr. Trump's threat to end Iranian civilization as truly unacceptable. Here's details in this report.
Over the weekend, the Pope presided over evening prayer at St. Peter's Basilica, where he condemned war, but chose not to criticise the US by name. The Pope has also previously said that God does not listen to the prayers of those who wage war, but rejects them, again without mentioning America directly. Frustrated, President Donald Trump posted an angry rant against the Pope on Truth Social, saying that Pope Leo was weak on crime, terrible on foreign policy, and that he should be thankful because he was appointed because they, presumably meaning the other cardinals, thought that would be the best way to deal with President Trump. Pope Leo responded on Monday saying, "I'm not afraid of the Trump administration or of speaking out loudly against the message of the gospel," and that he's not interested in getting into a debate.
The global economy is at risk of recession if the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran continues and high energy prices persist, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has warned. In its World Economic Outlook report, the IMF said in a worst-case scenario where oil, gas and food prices spike and remain high this year and next, global growth could fall below 2% in 2026. This would mean a close call for a global recession, which has happened only 4 times since 1980, it said, the most recent being during the COVID pandemic. Energy prices have soared since the war began more than 6 weeks ago after the Key Strait of Hormuz shipping route effectively closed and peace talks between the U.S. and Iran failed. The IMF said once again the global economy is threatened with being thrown off course, this time by the outbreak of war in the Middle East at the end of February 2026. It said the most severe conditions that could lead to the worldwide shutdown would include oil prices reaching an average of $110 per barrel this year and hitting $125 in 2027. Based on these assumptions, the IMF said inflation could reach as much as 6% next year. This could force central banks to increase interest rates to slow the pace of price rises. Stay tuned for your sporting highlights. Up next. And now for this item of sport. Well, it's match day in Grenada and all eyes are on the senior women's national football team. After weeks of preparation and hard work, the girls are ready to take the field as they face the Cayman Islands in a crucial CONCACAF women's qualifier on home soil. The match kicks off this evening at 5:30 at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Now the call is out to the nation. Come out and support. The team has done the work and they need Grenada in the stands. Admission is $25 for adults, $10 for children, and free for children under 12. Let's show up, show support, and rally behind our women as they represent the Spice Isle. And that's your sporting highlights. Do stay with us for a recap of the headlines that made the news today. Recapping the headlines that made the news today were live demonstration and distribution of safety gears for fishermen in St. David and work progressing on Grenada's agro-processing facility at Lacaloon in St. David. In the region, police in St. Vincent and the Grenadines cracked down after a violent weekend. On the international front, the IMF warns that global economy at risk of recession if Iran war persists. And in sport, it's football action today as Grenada faces the Cayman Islands. Well, this has brought us to the end of the luncheon edition of news for today, Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. On behalf of the entire news team, I have been your presenter, Christlina John, thanking you for having joined us.